Hi everyone, I'm Chyill and welcome back to another Battlerite discussion video. Today we'll be talking about the summer mega patch or patch 0.13 for Battlerite. So this patch will be coming out soon by the time this video goes up. It should be in a few hours time, and it brings about quite a lot of changes actually, quite a lot of major changes in some ways and quite a lot of less major changes as well. So before we start, if you see over this side here, there will be a list of topics that we'll cover, which is pretty much just most of the topics in these patch notes, but there will be timestamps directly to each of these sections, and that will send you straight to the part of the video where I cover each of those topics. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So this patch comes with a new hero, or a new champion if you like to call it, Blossom, the Forest Mender. So she's a support character, it seems, and it's quite interesting actually the way she heals, because like most of the time the healers have like a targeted heal, but her heal seems to depend on her positioning. So it seems like this champion requires a bit more positioning to get right, you know, to make sure you heal the correct person and all that. And it doesn't seem like she can heal herself with her mouse too, so I'm not too sure how that works, but I guess when we can actually get our hands on playing the champion and all that, we'll see how that will work. One other thing that I realized that is quite key is her EXQ ability, which summons an immovable forest guardian that absorbs all damage taken by nearby allies over 6 seconds. Now that ability seems really strong. I'm guessing the energy cost for this ability is probably like 50 or something, since I mean an ability like that sounds like it could be an ultimate ability, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't want to cover too much about the champion. They literally listed all her abilities and all her Battlerites here, but I won't go through that in this video because I have a more dedicated video to Blossom coming out next week probably, where I cover all her abilities, Battlerites, playstyle, etc. when I actually get a chance to play with her a bit more and sort of see what she's useful for and all that, like what her strengths and weaknesses are. So yeah, I mean the link to this patch notes and this blog post basically is down in the description below, so you can check it out as well for yourself if you really want to. I mean, these patch notes has been out for a few days already by now when you're watching this video, so yeah, you can just go ahead and read it if you haven't already. And I don't want to cover too much about her because I mean it's hard to speculate like how strong is she and all that kind of thing before you actually get a chance to play her. But yeah, overall actually she seems pretty interesting to me, and she seems like quite a fun and mobile, sort of a fast-paced kind of support champion. So I think I'll enjoy her playstyle quite a bit, it seems. But anyway, let's move on to the next part, which is the new Brawl. So the new Brawl is the Rocket Balloon Brawl, and this Brawl it has a bit more of an actual objective kind of gameplay. So it seems like there will be a central objective, which is this rocket balloon, which if you capture it for your team, it will start to attack the enemy team's guardian. And so this guardian thing basically is the thing that allows you and your teammates to respawn every so often. I'm not sure, I mean I don't think they gave all the details yet. And so basically the longer you control that balloon, the more the enemy's guardian is damaged, and eventually when that guardian dies, like all of your enemies are sort of in their, how to say, last stand mode or something, where they need to well, they have their last life basically, and that's their last ditch effort to try to get your guardian down and kill your team as well. So for this Brawl, because of how it is structured, like there'll be a lot of team fighting in the center, you'll be like rushing in and foregoing all your positional advantage and all that, and just get into the point and try to capture the objective. So they have like reduced health, you respawn, and you got all sorts of stuff like souls to increase your power, it seems. If you look at this part here, which I highlighted, you have persistent energy, so when you die you maintain your energy so that you can use your ultimate when you come back or something like that, which makes sense. Otherwise the first team that kills the other team will like just steamroll and just win. And so the way they're actually doing this brawl now is that this is a kind of a permanent brawl. So the first week when it comes out with the patch, we'll get to play it for the whole week, and then after that it will only be available on weekends, which I think is a very good system because of the fact that brawls like these, or separate game modes rather, usually split the player base. So like players who want to play the normal game mode will not be able to queue with players who are playing the brawl, for example, right? And for a game that already has a pretty small player base for now, hopefully it will increase, of course, but for now, I mean, you don't really want to split like the player base like that much. Basically, this game is not Overwatch where you have millions and millions of players, and so yeah, I think this is a good way of doing it, like putting the brawl only on the weekends, and that way people can enjoy the brawl even if they join after the brawl's first week is over, basically. So I think that's a good thing. So now we move on to the tutorial. You can see at the bottom here the new tutorial campaign mode. So they added their new tutorial, which they have talked about for quite a bit, which is a bit like a mission based tutorial thing. So there's a bit of story. I think you'll be playing as Jade, just like the current tutorial, but I believe that they're gonna cover like the EX abilities and all sorts of other stuff that beginner players should probably know by the time they get into a proper match, basically. So I think that would be pretty good. It should definitely help beginner players a little bit more to get a grasp of what this game is about, what you're supposed to do in each game. So I think that's good. And of course it also gives you a bit of story, like backstory to some of the characters, maybe specifically Jade. And I think it seems like the system could be expandable to like other champions as well if they so desire in the future, which I think is a good thing, since I think some people enjoy PvE content, even though this game is mainly a PvP game, but there are some people who mostly just enjoy PvE content, and so like giving them an option to play something PvE related should be quite interesting as well, for some people at least. Probably not the majority of this Battlerite player base, but like at least, you know, future people that might want to try out Battlerite might be interested in something like that. So that's good. Moving on, the new quest system. The quest system has been updated and expanded upon. In addition to daily quests, there are now weekly quests and event quests as well. In addition, we have also added achievements, which work as long-term quest system. So I think this is a good thing as well. Certainly for a free-to-play game, eventually, you will need some sort of daily sort of system. Like, I mean, the quest system is a daily system, but like something more robust, like now they have the weekly system and the achievements to sort of keep people engaged and sort of, hey, we need to work, I need to work on the achievement, right? So they'll log on and stuff like that, and sort of, and it's also a way to give people like the in-game currency, which keeps them going forward. If you look at like games like Heroes of the Storm, and League of Legends and all this, there are all these free-to-play games basically, and they have a system which is very robust to sort of keep people coming back, right? Even Overwatch, right? Like you have a first win of the day and those kind of stuff, and then of course they have like their in the arcade mode, they have like the loot box system where they have your first 9 wins or something will get you like 3 loot boxes like in a week basically. So these sort of things just keep players coming back and sort of, you know, striving for something because they want a certain reward, they want something to work towards. And so I think that's pretty good as a sort of a player retention thing. So instead of just having daily quests like what we have now, having weekly quests and achievements, I think is a good thing. So yeah, that's good. Account levels. You will now be able to level up your account as well as level up your champions. Unlike champion levels, account levels are unlimited and you gain experience with every match to level your account. So I think this is another step towards making the free-to-play experience a bit more pleasant, I guess. They haven't said what you will get for account levels, but I'm imagining like when you get to certain like levels, certain account levels, they'll probably be like giving you some gold chests or, you know, some sort of reward basically. This like, you know, for the same reason you have like this quest system, is to basically just keep getting players back, I think. And also, of course, it tells people like how much you played and how experienced you are with the game. It may not directly translate to skill, but at least, you know, wow, this guy is like level 400 or 500 or something, and this guy must have played for like super long or something like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Next up, we have the champion model updates and legendary outfits. So with this mega patch, a lot of champions have been sort of had their remodel. Before this, every patch sort of just brought about one remodel and one legendary outfit, but now this whole list of champions here have had their models reworked, and also they have gotten their legendary outfits. And along with Blossom as well, the new champion, of course. So there's Bako, Croak, Jade, Jumong, Uldur, Pearl, Paloma, Rook, Sirius, Varesh, and of course Blossom. So out of this list of champions, I play quite a lot of Jade, Jumong, Uldur, Pearl, Paloma. So I'm very excited because like most of the champions that I play a lot are getting the legendary outfits, are getting the remodels, and so I'm fairly excited for this. I might even just spend some money to get some of the legendary outfits, maybe. I'm not sure yet. But we have to see like how good they are. If you look down here below, you can see some of them. So I think this is Paloma's one, this is Bako's one, this should be Jade's one, but I'm not too sure. Is this the Jade? I think this is her, this is the remodel of Jade, but this is her legendary outfit, which looks pretty cool with the hat and all that. This very cowboy theme. This, I believe, is Croak, and this is Uldur's. So yeah, I won't say too much about it. Of course, we can't see all the legendary outfits and we can't see all the remodels yet. But I think so far, I'm quite liking some of the legendary outfits, specifically Paloma's and Jade's. I'm not too sure about Uldur's. I don't really play Bako and Croak much. But yeah, I think Croak's one actually looks pretty cool with like the whole ninja and ninja outfit and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I already spent a lot of my gold coins buying all the gold chests before the patch releases, and so I think I'll be good, I guess, to get maybe a few of these legendary outfits. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. But I mean, those are non-gameplay related and so not as important, at least in my opinion. Moving on, we have the new arena experience. This is basically just their revamp of the whole sudden death mechanic thing. Instead of just like a black color ring closing in towards the center when you reach sudden death mode, now they have this new effect here with like the whole, they call it the death vortex, and it looks pretty cool because it looks a bit like spirity, it looks a bit like hellish looking, kind of, you know. It looks like there's just a lot of spirits and it's just sort of evil stuff just outside, and if you walk outside you sort of die basically. So mechanically they did change a little bit of how this sudden death thing works, and now it deals damage after the target has been in this area for too long instead of being based on a global timer. So basically players can sort of just move in and move out quite quickly to maybe gather like some of the health orbs and stuff like that. So it makes it less cheesy for, like, you know, some people, they when some champions are really strong in sudden death, those champions with panics and stuff like that, where they can knock people out and make people run out into the sudden death area, and those people were really obnoxious like to play against, because like it's so hard to deal with all those kind of things if you don't have a good way to deal with them. Personally, I mean, I play Paloma quite a bit, and I know I use that a lot, like to panic people out. There are counter plays to it, of course, and of course it is good if you can work around it and sort of still come out ahead. But this sort of helps a little bit so that some of these more cheesy mechanics are less annoying, I guess, at least for newer players, because, you know, it can be a bit tough and frustrating to sort of try to deal with that. So yeah. Next up is the change of seasons from the Rise of the Dragon to the Secrets of the Forest. And so this, of course, is the end of Season 3, so blah blah blah. They will have their Grand Champion rewards handed out, their titles and all that. Nothing much. It's been like that for the past 2 seasons. And with the start of Season 4, there are some changes to the matchmaking. which I think is very good. So as you can see here, there's now strict matchmaking. So what strict matchmaking is that it guarantees matches where everyone is close in skill. So this is something that you can toggle while queuing, as they say here. You can toggle on and off while in queue without having to rejoin, which is fantastic, because it's kind of annoying that you have to rejoin the queue when you change, like when you want to change your region and all that kind of thing. But this, for strict matchmaking, you can just toggle it on and off without having to rejoin. They have also reduced the win streak bonus, and also the difference between where players and teams finish in season 3 when they start in season 4 will be larger. I think that the reason for this first 2 points here on their post here is probably to deal with the fact that a lot of players had inflated ranks in season 3 because of the win streak bonus. So this will, I think this first one here will sort of drop their ranks a bit more, and so they have to work a bit more to get up to their previous rank if they want to, basically. And if they were truly there, well, they will have to just work a bit more to get back there. It shouldn't be a problem for them to get back there, even with the reduced win streak bonus. So I want to talk a bit about this strict matchmaking again. I think it's a really big and a really good change, in fact. Like, it is something that is quite smart in a sense that you let players decide whether or not they want to have a fast queue and just get something more imbalanced. Like, they could be fighting someone weaker, which is good for them, they win, free win or something like that. But they could also fight someone who is a lot stronger, at which point they might most probably lose, and but it's sort of the risk that you take if you want fast queues. If you want slower queues, then but better matchmaking, like the skills are more even, then you can wait for a bit longer and sort of get the same level matches, basically, which is a good thing, I think, for everyone, basically, because some people don't have a lot of time to sit and wait in queue for like even matches, and maybe they just want to play a match. Doesn't matter whether they win or lose, whether they play against lousier players or stronger players. I mean, when they get matched up against those players, like whether they are weaker or stronger, those people also agreed to not have the strict matchmaking on, right? Because they are playing against your skill level when they are not in your skill level. So they sort of signed up for it. They shouldn't really complain. Like, it takes the responsibility of the matchmaking, like all these mismatching, basically, off of the developers, because it is a choice for the players, to decide whether they want the fast queues or like the even matches, basically. So I think it's really, really good. Hopefully it is very robust. Hopefully their close in skill or even in skill thing works very well. So I mean, really, I think it's a good thing, and hopefully it is implemented well, and there shouldn't be any complaints about matchmaking and all that. I mean, surely there will be maybe a minority maybe that will complain about certain aspects of it, but this should hopefully solve a lot of issues if it's done correctly. So I'm very happy about that. They also talk about some season rewards, but for high skill players, I think there's nothing major. Moving on, there's a new currency. This is basically the premium currency where you buy with money. So you can use this for all sorts of stuff, I guess. They didn't really say much about the premium currency, but I'm guessing you can do maybe like name changes, this kind of stuff with this premium currency, which you have to use real money to buy for. So yeah, nothing much about that. Moving on, we have the champion updates. So there were a few champion updates in this patch. Nothing really major, but just some small things, basically. I think they updated Bako's ultimate ability, and it seems like they're just fixing some of the things that didn't really make sense. Like, targets moved by heroic charge will no longer be moved if the target is unhittable, i.e. if the target becomes affected by other side. So that's Paloma's mouse 2 ability. So I guess it's just for consistency and sort of some things like, I mean, I didn't even know that people could be moved by heroic charge when they are affected by other side, so that's good to know that they fixed that. Because I mean, if I were affected by other side, I didn't want to get hit by Bako's ultimate, obviously, so So I guess that's okay. So just some small changes to Bako. They gave Freya a little bit of minor buffs to some of her Battlerites. It seems like the shield value increased for Torrent, Storm. It seems like it's also some of these Battlerites are some of the lesser used Battlerites for Freya, and so they're sort of trying to buff them up a little bit to get people to play other Battlerites with Freya. Like Tempest, I believe is the Battlerite where you get a movement speed buff when you hit someone with your mouse 2 ability as Freya. So it's all sort of a buff to her mouse 2 build basically. So I guess that's okay, because I mean most Freya players I think play with the melee build. So yeah, giving it a bit more diversity is a good thing, I suppose. Moving on to Eva, she's now tagged as beginner friendly. I'm not entirely sure if Eva really is very beginner friendly, but I guess she is one of the easier champions to learn, like start off at least, because of how her abilities are quite straightforward and all that. So I think that's a good thing. I'm not sure how this would affect Battlerite like key players, like whether Battlerite like players will have Eva added into them immediately, or like if they do decide to give out more Battlerite like keys in the future, will those players only get Eva, and like those who already have redeemed their keys not get Eva? I'm not too sure. And anyway, but yeah, I think she being tagged as beginner friendly should be a good thing as well. It just gives players a little bit more options in terms of like what they feel they can choose when they play the game, obviously. Because if you start off the game and you play the game, you sort of want to make sure that you can play something to a decent level, and so most beginners will try out the beginner friendly champions first. So I'm glad they're adding more of these beginner friendly tags to champions that are actually easy to learn how to play, like Eva or Eva. Moving on, she also has some Battlerite changes. Mostly I think it's a nerf to some of these changes. I believe this Battlerite seems to be a bit overpowered. The conductor is the one where her E projectile bounces and all that, so it's just to make it less obnoxious and all that kind of stuff. And Tractor Pulse is the one where she gets a stun when she pulls someone with her R ability. So yeah, seems good. I guess Eva was a bit too strong, especially in certain tournaments, I believe. I don't watch much tournaments, but I did happen to watch a tournament where Eva was just a monster. So yeah, so I guess these changes could be quite welcome to some players. Moving on to Jade, it's just a bug fix, so let's move on. Uldur, another bug fix, nothing much. Ragon, he is no longer briefly immune to all CC when he lands. This is after his ultimate, okay, which could cause him to be immune to things like landing in Jumong's bear trap and stuff like that. So I guess what this means is that after Ragon uses his ultimate, he has a little dash at the end, right? And so before this dash, he was immune to CC and all that kind of stuff, but now he is not, which is a bit of a small nerf since he cannot just dash to wherever he likes to go. Like there can be a bit of a counterplay kind of potential for enemies to sort of CC him while he's dashing out and sort of trapping him in place, or like panicking him and stuff like that. So I think this is pretty good. Ragon certainly can feel kind of strong in certain situations, and so I guess this is okay to sort of tone him down a little bit. It's not a major thing because honestly not a lot of people will try to CC him while he's like jumping out of his ultimate, but well, I guess people can try it more often now. They gave him a bit of changes to his Battlerites. The biggest one is that they nerfed his riposte. So now the riposte damage is reduced from 12 to 6, which is like I wouldn't say it's that big of a deal because most people choose this talent for the stun. But it certainly is a big difference in terms of like your damage output, because this riposte damage actually adds up over the course of the match, right? So I'm not too sure about the effects of this, because they also happen to buff up this aerial strike Battlerite, which is also one of Ragon's first round Battlerites, in addition to riposte, of course. And aerial strike is the one which he uses his E and he can jump to the enemy after he hits them with the E, and now the damage is increased from 4 to 10. So this is quite a big deal, because like this Battlerite has always been pretty good. Like, in a sense, against certain ranged champions, you need another gap closer, and you will take aerial strike to sort of try to gap close. And so this damage increase to the gap close makes it a lot more appealing. And so I think this will probably do it to make Raygon's first round Battlerite choices a little bit more balanced, and like he can actually take one of the three. Like the other one where he gets the healing after he space bars and stuff like that, that was quite good already. Riposte was always very good. Most players pick it, but now aerial strike is also buffed to a point which I think could make it more viable. So I think that's a good thing for Raygon. Some other things is they buffed his duelist Battlerite, and also it seems like they changed another Battlerite of this. I'm not too sure what this is. Shockwave, seismic shock. Oh, this is his E Battlerite, where it used to have like the area damage and stuff like that. But now it just deals some extra damage and the cooldown is reduced. So yeah, I think they're sort of pushing a little bit more towards a E focused build to, I don't know, maybe give Raygon a different playstyle, I guess. So that's pretty cool. Interested to try him out, but of course we have to wait for the patch to land for us to try him out. Moving on, we have Kaan as the last champion update, and his Shadow Bolt has been updated to now do 30 damage all the time regardless of his weapon charge. So before this, if he had his weapon charge, he would deal 30 damage instead of 26, whereas if he doesn't have his weapon charge, he will only do 26. So this is sort of a buff, because he's always doing 30 damage now, but it's also making it less interesting. So it's, you know, there's two sides of the coin, right? And personally, I think it's a welcome change. Kaan certainly can feel a bit lackluster in certain parts of the game, against certain champions as well. So this is a welcome change, but I'm not sure whether like the lower complexity like would be very welcome by a lot of players. Personally, I think it's okay. Certainly it was a little bit more, you had to be a bit more skillful with like your timing of your weapon charge and like your mouse too and all that before. Now you don't have to worry about that, so it feels a little bit easier to play Kaan. I'm a bit mixed, but I'm probably leaning more towards him needing a buff more than needing to be more complex, so I guess I'll just go with that for now. Okay, moving on, we talk about his Shadow Beast, and wow, this is a big buff. I only just realized this, by the way, when I'm reading, like when I'm recording this, that this is a big buff. So his Shadow Beast now, I'm very excited because I play a lot of Kaan, you see. It no longer disables Sinister Strike. I think this is the biggest thing, because he now has his mobility while he uses his ultimate, and this is a big deal. Okay, Kaan is a monster in his ultimate form, and like if enemies don't CC him, he's pretty much like just gonna kill everything basically. Not only that, his post cast time has been reduced from 0.2 seconds to 0.1 seconds, so that makes him able to do stuff quicker after he uses ultimate. So I think Kaan is gonna be very strong now with his ultimate. He's no longer as vulnerable with his ultimate on. So I think this is a good change. I'm not sure if this will make him too overpowered, but we'll have to see. He can also recast his ultimate to end his ultimate early, which I don't know why you would want to do that now if you still have your mobility with your spacebar. I feel like they will change Kaan again in the next patch soon, because this feels a little bit strong. I mean, certainly Kaan has some bad matchups, but when played right, he is really strong, and I think this is just this is just crazy, man. I think like yeah, I think we'll see a lot more Kaans from now on for sure. It might be pretty hard to deal with him when he has his space. When he has his space bar, when he has his ultimate on now. I will have to test him out and see. I think, other than the new champion, I'll be playing a lot of Kaan as well once the patch lands. moving on, these are just some of the general updates and fixes. For the UI, the regions have been removed, which is fantastic because the region thing was kind of just really weird. The quest replaced in the new quest system. Alright, I guess they have some new quests involved, so that's pretty good. About the chest, you can no longer buy gold chests, you can only buy silver chests, just sort of blah blah blah, just sort of lots of chest related stuff, which I don't think I want to go into too much detail because I'm not really that interested in it. Certainly free-to-play players will of course want to get these. What I mean by free-to-play players, as in like players who haven't gotten the game yet, right? People who have gotten the game by now would have a lot of the cosmetics unlocked already. So the chests are mostly just redundant for a lot of players because I mean, most of the time you get duplicates. So, but yeah, they have changed up a bit of the stuff with the chest here. I guess I'll just let you guys read it for yourself because the video has been going on for pretty long already. There's some cosmetic stuff here, which I guess they tell you how to obtain some of these mounts and stuff, so that's pretty good. They changed the floor texture for Dragon Garden, which previously was really bright, and it made it very hard to see certain abilities, so I guess this is a good thing as well for Dragon Garden Day. And yeah, and just some general bug fixes. So that was a pretty long video covering pretty much the whole patch. It is a very long patch. Why did I say that? It is a very big patch. Long patch notes is what I meant to say. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and those were just most of my thoughts and what I felt about each of the changes in this patch. And so if you enjoyed the video, please, you know, leave a like, comment, all those sort of stuff. Check out my other videos as well. My Blossom guide will be coming next week, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, enjoy the patch, enjoy the Brawl, seems fun, enjoy the changes, enjoy the remodels, everything. And until next time guys, have a great day, keep gaming, stay chill, and I'll see you guys in the next one, okay? Bye bye.